Hey, y'all. Hey, what is the vibe like? What's the vibe like? Put it in the comments. Yeah, I need to know what the vibe is like. Well, to give you a little bit of, what my vibe is. Let me introduce you to my singing bowl. Yes, baby, look at it. Baby, this thing clears energies. So, welcome back. And for the newbies, welcome. I am Niambi Shalee. And on this channel, we talk about all things spiritual. Yeah, that's what we do. Um, my meditation today was really, really heavy. That's why I didn't do a daytime video because my message was it's a spiritual warfare going on right now. There is a spiritual warfare going on right now. And what we need to understand is in a spiritual warfare, there is nothing that you can do physically. You have to use your spirit. You have to protect your spirits. There is nothing, understand, there is nothing that can harm you. Once you realize that you are walking alongside protection, that you can call your protection in, you have nothing to worry about. But we are in, that's the title of this video, we are in a spiritual warfare. And understanding spirituality, breaking from, and I say this because this country was built on biblical teachings. So I'm going in my phone right now so I can make sure. This country was built on biblical teachings. It just is what it is. That's why it's very hard for me to talk about spirituality without talking about biblical, because this country was built on that. So when I went back and I thought about it and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, spirituality sounds a lot like biblical teachings. I'm gonna light my candle. I went back. I refused to read this thing cover to cover. I'm not on that. I ain't got time for that. But through spirituality, I was able to pull out those spiritual teachings through this book. Understand that in this spiritual warfare, evil will not prevail. Ooh, that's power. Evil will not prevail. Even when it looks like, and this is not a racial thing. I don't believe in racial anything. Can I say, or will I dare say, that racism doesn't exist? You will never hear me say that. It does. But understand that when you walk with a power, alongside a power that's bigger than you, that's greater than you, that's stronger than you, baby, ain't nothing you could do to me. Nothing. All the things that you are seeing going on in the world right now, all the headlines, all the different things that's going on, it's nothing when you walk with the power. When you understand The power. When you understand the force that is with you, that if you tap into it and you realize you can harness it and it is your guide, evil cannot exist in your world. I will be honest with you to say, I've never been religious. I've never been a churchgoer. I've never been had a religious leader, so to speak. But I've always known that there was a power greater than me. Always. I always knew that there was a power greater than me. I look at it now and I'm like, I'm a child of God. My power is in source, force, spirit that creates worlds. That gets me excited because I know it's nothing that's going to happen to me. It's nothing that can happen to me. When COVID hit, I didn't even know. I walked in the grocery store and saw that there was no tissue. I had been traveling back and forth all through the Midwest and walked in the grocery store and was like, what's going on? Called my grandmother. Hey, look here, what's going on? Why it ain't on? And she told me about the pandemic. And I was like, oh, okay. Never wore a mask because I knew that this was not in my DNA. It wasn't because I was trying to be disobedient or that I was trying to pass something on to someone else. I knew that COVID was not in my DNA. What's new? Monkeypox. Monkeypox is not in my DNA. I have a power that was given to me because of the Father, because of Source, because of the Creator. So, I'm not worried about none of that. I don't worry about anything. Be anxious for nothing. What that book did tell me was some very powerful scriptures that I've always used pretty much my whole life. No weapon. Understand we are in a spiritual warfare. And you fight these things with your spirit. You walk out the door in the AM with your spirit. Saying to yourself, there is nothing that will happen to me. Everything is working out for my good. Do you understand? Do you see what is really going on? The 10 people shot in Buffalo. The church that was ambushed in California. The people in, I believe it's New Zealand. It's all over the world. What's going on in Ukraine? The power is all about the oppressed. Little girls being sold at 9 years old to men over 50 for marriage in Afghanistan. Evil will not win this. And where we have been lack in understanding that this book teaches of a power that is so great. This book teaches of a power that you have access to. Nobody ever seen it. Nobody ever touched it. The power touches you. So understand when I say you have access to the power that was laid out for you biblically. This power is so powerful that you have access to it. There's a quote that says, "You are so free that you can choose bondage." Do not choose to be bound by what this world has shown you. Understand, once you tap into the power that this book speaks of, you have to understand this book was brought by the colonizers. But in this book, it speaks of power. Who told you you were naked? A person. A person told you you couldn't have access to this power because you did something. You do something. A person. Wasn't no serpent. No serpent came up to you and told you anything. Even when they explained it in this book as a parable, understand this book is of fables and parables. A parable is an earthly story, right, with a spiritual meaning. They said in Genesis, the serpent had legs. Oh, so does that go back to my other video that says evil is people? The devil is people. When God went to Satan and asked him, "Where you been?" "Oh, I've been roaming around to and fro, seeking who to devour." It's people, baby. It's people. But that's not the topic. Understand, evil will never prevail. This pandemic is biblical. When the source, the force, the power get sick and tired of all that, I come check it up. You know, they want to make source feel so, and they got somewhere for you to go if you. No, you live your heaven and hell here. You live your heaven and hell here. There's nowhere for you to go. Understand, we are in a spiritual warfare. What you see going on around you in this time, in this day, the headlines, it's because the spirits have taken over these people's minds and these people's hearts. You want to say devil? No, it's not the devil. They actually took one letter and added it to evil. Know what is happening here. Know where this book came from. This book came from the colonizers. It was edited to put you in lockstep. This country was built on this book. So they took one letter, D, and added it to the word evil. And now it's the devil. No. Evil will not prosper. But so what? So if you know that we are in a spiritual warfare, if you know that you have a spirit and we're in spiritual warfare, if you know that, if you understand that, remember who you are. Remember that you can use your spirit You can use your spirit. You are connected. Use your spirit to speak those things into existence as if they were. But you have to believe with your heart. You have to believe with your heart. This book says, as a man think in his heart. The book tells you. But we are so inundated with performances and actors and distractions that we don't use this book for what it was made for. To tell you, this book will give you the keys, but you got to find it. So what I'm doing is breaking it down in a form that you can understand. When Adam ate the apple in order to get power, parable, okay, earthly story for spiritual meaning. When Adam ate the apple, feeling as though he would get the power, when God came into the garden, it was said, a person wrote this. A person said, who told you you was naked? A person said, God said, who told you you was naked? So let me go to Revelations. Genesis, the beginning of the book. Earthly story. Teaching the spiritual lesson. Who told you you was naked? Then we go to Revelation 3:17. This is the end of the book. Okay? This is the end of the book. It says, and I quote, you say, I'm rich. I have acquired wealth and do not need a thing. But you do not realize you are wretched, pitiful, poor, blind, and naked. You say, I am rich. I acquire wealth. I do not need a thing. But you do not realize that you are wretched, pitiful, poor, blind, and naked. Ooh, that book is a tool. You were taught the wrong way. Let me explain that to you. You think you got it all. You think you got a degree. You think you got money in the bank. You don't need a thing. But you are wretched, poor, blind, and naked. Because you don't realize you have a power. With all those things, you have a power. You thought that money made you what was up. See, I'm talking about the first. Who it said, this book say the first will be last. The last will be first. You see the nation? You see the millionaires, the billionaires? You thought money. You acquire wealth. You don't need nothing. You don't need a thing. But you naked. What does naked mean? You don't realize the power. Tap into the power. Evil will not prevail. Money and power will not prevail. Skin color will not prevail. Supremacy, the thought process, will not prevail. Honey, the wealth of the wicked is stored up for the just. Understand we are in a spiritual warfare. Understand the one thing I'm trying to say in this here video. Evil never, ever wins against good. Remember when I said they took one letter and put it on evil and called it the devil? Ooh! They took one letter. This is deep. They took one letter and exited it from good and called it God. So we called it God. We followed that. We've allowed that to be our saving grace and mercy. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. An angel on this shoulder. Good. Angel, devil on this shoulder. You got to pick a side. And once you pick a side and you understand that there is nothing that you have done or nothing that you can do that can stop you from tapping into the power. The spirit of good will let you know what to do. Not a book. Anytime we're going through something, what do? Oh, let me go to church. Oh, let me talk to a pastor. Go to good. Feel good. Feel so good to you. Happy. Then feel so happy that you feel love. Connect with nature. Evil will never overpower good. The moon will never, ever outshine the sun. It's a universal law. Yes, excuse me, there are things happening in the world. But use your power to make sure it don't never happen to you. Use your spirit to make sure that it never touches your family. Call on your ancestors. Oh, this video is not going down. I don't care nothing about that. Call on your ancestors. Call in your angels. Call in spirit. Call in source. You got to call it in. You got to speak to it. You have to understand what's going on. It is a spiritual warfare going on. And it's not just about killing. It's not just about hurting someone. It's not just about overtaking someone. It's about little bitty things that fuck up your day. That's a spirit of destruction, a spirit of division, a spirit of hate, a spirit of confusion. Understand that. And when you see those spirits, a spirit of leeching, a spirit of using, When you see those spirits, back out. Detach. I don't care if it's your mama. Detach. I don't care if it's your brother. Detach. Yeah. No, they not finna walk in the room with an assault rifle. But they're degrading you. They're demeaning you. They're telling you what you're not and what you can't be. All our life we heard, conditioned to believe no pain, no gain. That's not what God intended. That's not what God intended. Who told you you was naked? Who told you you didn't have the power? Who told you you couldn't tap into the power? A person. Oh, well, if you do that, because they were told that. And then another person was, then they told somebody else, and then they told somebody else. And now the secret or the statement, the morphed into something else. That's what we're dealing with right here. We're dealing with you get to the source. You get to the power. You tap in. You shut your mind down. You meditate. And everybody want to misconstrue what meditation is. You think meditating is just being quiet? No. Your mind ruminates. Your mind continues to think of things. Shut your mind down. All these people running around killing people and shooting up places and running here and running there. They want to tell you it's black on black crime. That's a lie. That's not even a real thing. It's a narrative that they've given you and made you believe when other nationalities are killing each other. But you don't hear Asian on Asian crime. You don't hear white on white crime when it's 63% of white. But you don't hear that. Those are the ones that's killing each other. Them the ones that kill their mama in their sleep. Them the ones that kill. It's not about race. It's about evil. They made you with this book be so motherfucking meek and mild. So humble while they been out here killing. They been out here killing. But you're meek and you're mild. You're humble. You're nonviolent. But killing. Yeah, killing. Raping. Incest. But you an animal. You a savage. And those are the savages. These savages have showed you a book, gave you all these whimsical ass stories, and you sitting up there reading Noah's Ark. You gotta be kidding me. You have to be kidding me. And made you forget about your spirit. The spirit that was given to you. The spirit that you have access to. A greater power. Source. The creator. Get to the Father. All while they teaching this book. Oh. The Bible say. God say. What God told you? Satan walks about the earth to and fro. That's people. The serpent that offered the apple had arms and legs. That's people. People. But evil, I don't care how long it's been. It's been 400 years. Although they tell you don't listen to nothing else, you know, when you in church, because if you listen to something else, you know that's ungodly. The nation hit its Pluto return. That's what you see going on right now. The planets over the last 6 months been pairing up in male and female and sent out. Look at planetary alignment. Don't take my word. Let's go. Mars and Venus. Planetary alignment. Which they tell you, don't look at that. You ain't supposed to be looking at that. Don't pay no attention to the stars in the universe and the cosmos. Astrologers have been telling people that this is what was going to happen 2-3 years ago. This is a spiritual warfare. And you have to protect your spirit. Speak it out of your mouth. I am protected. Good will prevail at all times. My family is protected. I am protected. There is nothing that will happen to me. Nothing but the best case scenario go on for me. Stop telling yourself these things in your mind as in, it's fucked up. This crazy. What's going on is because you are now not protecting yourself. You are not protecting your family by speaking these things. I'm going to tell you this. Last night, I recorded this video. It wouldn't let me put it out there. Right now I'm talking, my iPad doing some other stuff. You see how the whole little picture change? This going up. It is a spiritual warfare. Understand what's going on. Protect your spirit. Intercess for your family's spirit. Don't let anything intrude on your spirit. You happy today? Be happy all day. Command your day. Today gonna be a good day. Today is a good day. Tomorrow is a good day. Be anxious for nothing. Glad. Allow life to happen to you. Evil will not win. This spiritual warfare ain't for you. But understand, don't be blind. Protect yourself. So, you know how I end my video. I love you.